News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. That S&P 500 rally was wiped out as traders backed off Fed rate cut bets. Most U.S. stocks did slump, but Nvidia nudged NASDAQ to another record. We bring you the closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P lost 25 points. NASDAQ gained 37. The Dow lost 436 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.48%. The 2-year yield at 3.95%. House Republican leaders' plans to pass a series of industry-friendly crypto regulatory measures hit a bump in the road. They failed to win an important procedural vote. The House voted against taking a step needed to begin consideration of 3 industry-backed bills, including one on stablecoin regulation. Bitcoin had been on a fresh record run. It has now dropped more than 3%. It was up to $120,000. It is now less than $117,000. President Trump says he has reached a deal with Indonesia, telling reporters outside the White House that the U.S. will impose a 19% tariff on goods from Indonesia and that the U.S. will, quote, pay nothing and have full access.
We have full access to Indonesia, everything. As you know, Indonesia is very strong on copper, but we have full access to everything. We will pay no tariffs. So they are giving us access into Indonesia, which we never had. That's probably the biggest part of the deal. And the other part is they are going to pay 19%.
Trump says Indonesia has committed to purchasing $15 billion in U.S. energy, $4.5 billion in American agricultural products, and 50 Boeing jets. That's according to a post on Truth Social. Shares of Boeing slipped 0.2% in the regular session. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says talks between the U.S. and China are in a very good place ahead of an expected meeting in coming weeks. Nvidia says the U.S. government will clear it to start shipping its H20 chips to China again, something Bessent alluded to as a possible negotiation tool.
You might say that that was a negotiating chip that we used in Geneva and in London. It was all part of a mosaic. They had things we wanted. We had things they wanted.
President Trump's AI and crypto czar David Sachs says this is not a change in U.S. policy.
I think there is a compelling argument here that you just don't want to hand Huawei the entire Chinese market when Nvidia is capable of competing for a big slice of it with a deprecated, less capable chip.
Hear more from David Sachs on the Bloomberg Talks podcast. Nvidia shares advanced 4% in regular trading. Energy Secretary Chris Wright tells Bloomberg's Tyler Kendall that Trump is not planning a tariff carve-out for energy.
The president plans no special carve-outs. He wants to reindustrialize the United States of America. There's a lot of tools to do that. Make it easy to invest in the United States, make it attractive to invest in the United States, and tariffs are an additional element of that toolbox.
Hear more from Energy Secretary Chris Wright on the Bloomberg Talks podcast. And Treasury Secretary Bessent also says the formal process has begun to find a successor to Fed Chair Jay Powell. In an interview with Bloomberg Surveillance, Bessent says that process does not include firing Powell before his term expires in May.
There are a lot of great candidates. And we'll see how rapidly it progresses. It's President Trump's decision, and it will move at his speed.
Hear that full conversation with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on the Bloomberg Surveillance podcast. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg.